Revenge from beyond the grave, the beginning. In the heart of a small, sleepy village nestled between the undulating hills and dense, ancient forests, there was a palpable sense of unease. This village, with its cobblestone paths and quaint thatched cottages, was known for its rich history and folklore. The villagers, a tight-knit community, had passed down stories from generation to generation, tales of spirits and otherworldly beings that roam the night. Among these tales, one story stood out, a tale of vengeance that haunted the village for centuries. The story begins with a young woman named Elara. Elara was the epitome of beauty and grace, with raven black hair that cascaded down her back like a waterfall and eyes that sparkled like the stars on a clear night. She was kind-hearted, always willing to help those in need, and had a voice that could soothe the most restless of souls. Her family, however, was plagued by misfortune. Her father, a once prosperous merchant, had fallen into debt, and her mother's health was rapidly deteriorating. One fateful day, a wealthy and influential man named Lord Malgore arrived in the village. He was known for his ruthlessness and insatiable greed. Upon seeing Elara, he was instantly smitten by her beauty and desired her for himself. He approached her family with a proposition would settle their debts and provide for Elara's mother's medical needs in exchange for Elara's hand in marriage. Desperate and with no other options, Elara's father reluctantly agreed. The betrayal. Elara's life took a dark turn after her marriage to Lord Malgore. Behind the facade of wealth and luxury lay a prison of emotional and physical torment. Malgore was a cruel and possessive man, his love quickly turning into obsession. Elara was confined to the grand but lonely mansion, her every move watched and controlled. The vibrant spirit she once had began to wither under the weight of her suffering. The villagers, who had once adored Elara, now whispered among themselves about her plight. They could see the sadness in her eyes, the way her once luminous smile had faded. But Lord Malgore's influence was too great, and they dared not interfere. Elara's only solace came from the rare moments she could steal away to the village to visit her ailing mother. During these visits, she found brief moments of happiness, surrounded by the familiar faces and the warmth of her childhood home. Years passed, and Elara's mother passed away, her father's health declining rapidly. Elara, now completely alone, felt the weight of her misery even more. It was during this time that she met a young man named Jude. He was different from anyone she had ever met, gentle and understanding. He listened to her, comforted her, and soon they fell deeply in love. Their love, however, was doomed from the start. Lord Malgore discovered their affair and, in a fit of rage, had Jude brutally beaten and thrown into the village square as a warning to anyone who dared to cross him. Elara, devastated and heartbroken, was locked away in her room, where she succumbed to despair. Unable to bear the pain any longer, she took her own life, leaving behind a note that spoke of her love for Jude and her hope for a better world beyond the grave. The awakening. Elara's death sent shockwaves through the village. The villagers mourned her loss, and the once lively village was shrouded in a somber gloom. But the story did not end there. Unbeknownst to them, Elara's spirit lingered, bound by the injustice and pain she had endured in life. She became a restless spirit, seeking revenge on those who had wronged her. It started with strange occurrences in Lord Malgore's mansion. Shadows moved on their own, whispers echoed through the halls, and a chilling cold enveloped the rooms. Lord Malgore, once a man of uncheckable confidence, began to feel the weight of fear. He dismissed the strange happenings as mere coincidences, but deep down, he knew something was amiss. One night, as Malgore sat in his study, he felt a presence in the room. The air grew thick, and the temperature dropped. He turned to see a faint, ethereal figure standing before him, Alara. Her eyes, once filled with warmth and love, now burned with a cold, vengeful fire. She spoke in a voice that set shivers down his spine, recounting the pain and suffering he had caused her. Malgore, terrified, tried to flee, but found himself paralyzed by an unseen force. Alara's spirit tormented Malgore night after night, driving him to the brink of madness. The villagers, noticing the change in him, began to speak of a curse. The once feared lord became a shell of his former self, haunted by the spirit of the woman he had wronged. His wealth and power could not save him from the wrath of the spirit he had created. The unraveling. As Malgore's sanity unraveled, the village was plagued by other strange occurrences. Crops withered, livestock fell ill, and a sense of unease settled over the village. The villagers, now believing in the curse, sought the help of the local wise woman, a revered figure known for her knowledge of the supernatural. The wise woman, after hearing the villagers' accounts and sensing the malevolent presence, gathered them together and led a ritual to communicate with the spirit of Alara. In the flickering light of the bonfires, she called upon Alara's spirit, seeking to understand her pain and find a way to appease her. Alara's spirit appeared before them, her form translucent and glowing with an otherworldly light. She spoke of her love for Jude, the betrayal by Malgore, and the torment she had endured. The villagers, moved by her story, promised to honor her memory and right the wrongs that had been done to her. Together they built a shrine in the village square, a place where Alara's spirit could find peace. They held a ceremony, laying flowers and lighting candles, asking for her forgiveness and blessing. The wise woman, sensing the spirit's anguish, performed a ritual to release Alara from her earthly bonds, guiding her towards the afterlife. Their solution. As the ritual concluded, a sense of calm washed over the village. The air seemed lighter, and the oppressive feeling that had lingered for so long began to dissipate. Alara's spirit, now at peace, thanked the villagers for their kindness and understanding. She expressed her desire to be reunited with Jude in the afterlife, where they could be together, free from the pain and suffering of their earthly existence. Lord Malgore, witnessing the events unfold, was left a broken man. The weight of his actions bore down on him, and he knew he could never undo the harm he had caused. He renounced his wealth and power, choosing to live a life of penance and solitude. The villagers, though wary of him, saw his genuine remorse and allowed him to live among them, hoping that he would find some measure of redemption. With Alara's spirit at peace, the village slowly began to heal. The crops flourished once more, the livestock recovered, and the sense of community that had been lost was rekindled. The shrine to Alara became a place of pilgrimage, where people came to pay their respects and seek solace. Her story was passed down through generations, a reminder of the power of love, the consequences of cruelty, and the possibility of redemption. The legacy. Years passed, and the village thrived. The story of Elara and Jude became a cherished part of the village's history, a tale told by parents to their children as a lesson in compassion and the importance of standing up against injustice. The shrine to Elara remained a focal point of the village, a symbol of hope and resilience. One evening, as the sun set over the hills and the village was bathed in a golden glow, a young couple stood before the shrine. They held hands, their eyes filled with love and determination. They whispered a silent prayer, asking for Elara's blessing on their union. As they stood there, a gentle breeze rustled the leaves, and a soft, ethereal glow surrounded them. The spirit of Elara, now guardian of love and justice, watched over the village, ensuring that her story would never be forgotten. And so the village continued to flourish, its people united by the bonds of love and the lessons of the past. The tale of Elara and Jude, a story of love, betrayal, and redemption, lived on, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit and the belief that even in the darkest of times, hope and love can prevail.